Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Kabir, and welcome to my very last video on the IB Grind series. Now, this video is coming out really late because this week has just been tremendously busy. We had, right after our final test on Monday, which is the History Paper 3, literally at 10:15 was right when we finished, and that's when we had to jump on the grad night bus and head over to grad night at Disneyland. Then that ended around, we came back to school around 4 in the morning on Tuesday, didn't go to school on Tuesday, we were excused, and then came back on Wednesday, and here we are on Friday. Today's the 22nd, I believe. So here's me trying to recount what happened on Monday, and it is well over 24 hours after the exam, so I can go ahead and talk all about the exam that I want without getting in trouble from the code of conduct of IB laws and stuff. Anyways, I believe there was a question about the atomic bomb and whether or not it was used militaristically or politically, and I chose that question. I was writing on the concept that it goes both ways. It asserts U.S. militaristic dominance as well as serves as a political mechanism by further establishing where arms need to be, and it goes beyond that into later developing the idea of mutually assured destruction and what would happen with MAD. And I go on with that. And then there was one about independence movements in Latin America, excluding Cuba. I am Cuban. That was offensive, guys. IB, why do you exclude Cuba? That's not cool. That's not cool. That's not cool. 3 times. That's not cool. Don't do that next time. But anyways, in all seriousness, it didn't matter if they had, if they wanted to do Cuba. Really, what I was focusing on was Brazil and the Creole Peninsulare rivalry, and actually the revelry that arose out of it, because the Creoles felt as though they should be treated the same as the Peninsulares, and the Peninsulare, the word meaning from the peninsula, is from the Spanish peninsula, so these were very high elites, and so were the Creoles, but they weren't given the same respect that the Peninsulares received. And I talked about class stratification, so social hierarchy, as well as the major proponents being the slaves, and them comprising of around 95% of the population, really, in most of these plantation-like, these plantation countries or settlements that European powers had settled on. Now, the last question, I can't all too much remember. Oh, it was the Constitution of 1787, and something about how radical, how did it change the U.S. political system radically, or something along the lines of that. And this one was actually, the 3 ones that I choose I felt were pretty easy, especially the Constitution one, because they're asking, most of these questions are asking in the TOK manner, so to what extent is this happening? And to what extent was that true? And I said that it was, to a degree, it was radical, because you're starting with this nation that's breaking away from a monarchy type system, with a monarch figurehead with a parliamentary type governmental system. And you're trying to break away from that. The colonies are trying to break away from that because they don't want to emulate the same system of government, because they don't feel that it is fair. So they follow these Roman ideals and this Roman republic democracy, and they build upon that. And in the beginning, they have the Articles of Confederation, which were very weak because you didn't have a very strong centralized government, and there was no such thing as checks and balances, and it allowed the state to figure these legislations and laws that the federal government made as more of guidelines than actual laws. So the states themselves didn't necessarily feel as though they needed to follow it, as was seen with several issues with western expansion and trespassing on Indian territory. The federal government didn't have the strength that it needed. So with the Constitution, and with the ability to form amendments and later the Bill of Rights, and you start to see this progression of U.S. politics that is quite radical in comparison to previous governmental strategies that other empires have used. But it does at the same time emulate that of ancient Rome. So I did end up saying that it was a fairly radical idea, and it did affect the U.S. Political system in a radical way. And yeah, so those are the 3 questions that I chose. I felt pretty good about them. But yeah, so it's still kind of surreal to think that now I am done with IB testing, and I just yesterday I tweeted out that it felt so good because I finished my cast yesterday, my creativity, action, and service, and that felt great. They had these 6 little great words that were just bundles of joy that said, "You have now completed your cast project." I think that's 6 words. I think that's what it said on the thing, but it was something along the lines of that, and seeing those words just felt so great. Seeing the little completed check marks, that was just a great feeling to know that I'm finally done with that, and I'm actually done with IB in total. At this point, we just have finals coming up next week, senior finals, for only 2 classes, chemistry and math. I already took part of my math final today. That wasn't too bad. I actually felt pretty good about it, and yeah, so everything's coming down to an end for the IB seniors, and I'm feeling that our cohort is looking pretty good in terms of getting diplomas and passing those IB tests. And yeah, so this is the very last video of this mini-series, the IB grind. Hopefully, in the future, we will see a lot more traffic on this channel, and future IB students will come and ask questions, and that's what I'm hoping for, because if you guys have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them. And if you guys have any questions about the test, at this point, I'm completely free to talk about it on ibsurvival.com. People are creating forums talking about the test and the questions. That's a very good resource. I'll put that down in the link below, down as a link in the description below. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to what's in store in the future, especially in terms of what's going to go on in this channel. I hope that all you people from the UK, Nigeria, Canada, all these different, Malaysia, all these different countries, you guys continue to watch my videos even after IB. There will be a lot of educational videos. Most of my rant videos, I figured, at this point, are going to become educational at the same time. I still want to do my Baltimore rant video, just to get points across to people as to what the situation was. Even though the whole scene is long gone, I still want to talk about it a little bit. There are other things. Also, I would want to bring a lot of awareness to events that are going on currently in the world, such as the 2 earthquakes that hit Nepal. That was terrible, and hopefully I can bring awareness to things like this. And like I said, this channel is meant to be community based, so I definitely want to do a lot of stuff with you guys, and I want you guys to submit ideas, submit anything that you want to talk about, and I will make a video about it. And then hopefully it will allow you guys to become inspired to submit response videos, and that way we can get a whole community going. And that way YouTube isn't just this thing where you have famous YouTubers that become celebrities. Rather, it's this place where people can share and express ideas. And I feel that it already is that. It's just that more people need to be doing that. Within means, of course. Obviously, there aren't that many regulations as to what people say, but I feel people should still be moral in what they're saying and ethical, and be nice to one another, respecting other people's opinions. Now, in terms of the future of this channel also, I definitely want to bring this to UCSD, which is the college that I'll be going to, which I'm very forward-looking. I'm very much looking forward to that, and I hope to have a really great experience at that university, first of all, and second of all, kind of take this channel and chronicle the events that happened while at university, in a similar way that I was chronicling the IB test and the IB grind. So yeah, I think that's about it for this video. One last thing, if you guys feel that you have any questions about the test, again, remember, feel free to contact me. I will try my best to help you guys out and provide you with any resources that I found, any websites, or any tips and tricks that I had for surviving IB. And yeah, so once again, this is my very last video, the Day 7 update. Even though this was quite late, I'm still bringing it to you guys. And yeah, so bye guys.